Alright, so today I'm going to definitively prove once and for all that the Egyptians had connections that were to global communities around the world. I want you to take a look at this. We're going to zoom into the Great Pyramid and we're going to check out distances from the Great Pyramid. Why this is important is because of the waves that go through the ground culminate at different points on the earth in resonant and harmonic fashions. It's really simple. But let's check this out. Let's go to Easter Island here. Do you see this? All of the volcanoes across the entirety of Easter Island are all at key distances away from the Great Pyramid. It's really weird. What a weird thing, isn't that? Oh my god. Now, let's just take a minute and take a look at all these different volcanoes here. See how many of these line up to really key locations away from the Great Pyramid. And we're going to see all the other locations that line up to this. And before you try and claim, well, this is just a probability of a lot of different locations, I have found more locations around the earth that line up to this and the Great Pyramid than anyone cares to actually watch. I don't even have time to edit all of it down into videos that's watchable. I just don't. I have turbines to be working on. But I'm tired of being told that this is not a thing, and this isn't real, and this isn't really simple and can't be proven. And I'm tired of people like Mini Minutemen and Flint Dibble all just ignoring it like it doesn't exist. And they sit there and they attack people like Graham Hancock because it's an easy to debunk or prove wrong, because they can't prove he's wrong, but they can make it look like Graham Hancock doesn't know what he's talking about. It's about time you start picking on someone your own size who can actually defend themselves, who can actually explain real physics, who actually understands this kind of technology, instead of you two just running around picking anyone you can that is just easy to disprove or debunk because they don't have the authority in your field like you two do. Now, pay close attention to that line that was drawn straight from the pyramid circumferentially around the Earth to the Easter Islands. Look what this goes right through the center of. What a coincidence! It's Cusco! Oh, what do you know? Do you see the distance Cusco is away from the Great Pyramid? Oh, 12 million meters on the dot! Yeah, the Egyptians didn't have the meter. Right. Oh, that's just a coincidence now. 12 million exactly. Huh.
You know, why haven't we built any pyramids? Whoa. Dude, you are asking some powerful questions right now. It's because we can't. The reason we haven't built any pyramids is not because we can't. It would be ridiculously expensive, take up a ton of manpower, because there's just no reason to. Why haven't we? Because it's a matter of, why the fuck would we? No more? We don't need any pyramids or otherwise accoutrement to the pyramids. Our culture does not demand pyramid. We have no purpose for them anymore. Why don't we extrapolate your logic here a little bit?
Now, let's go ahead to the other side of South America where the same line from the Great Pyramid to the Easter Island crosses through. What else is on the other side? What a big river mouth to be open. Oh, and it's exactly 9 million? Wow! What a coincidence! Like, how many more coincidences do we need here?
Piece of evidence number 36 that has no background in other things we actually need.
And as a physicist, my guy.
Is not because there's just no reason to. No, it's a matter of, why the fuck would we?
Have acoustic and mechanical vibration dampers and canceling effect temples.
It's a matter of
damping out all the mechanical vibrations and acoustics that go into the ground. All the things we do, those vibrations will continue to add up and will continue to keep resonating the earth and cause problems. Alright, now I can understand if maybe that isn't that impressive. If that don't knock your socks off, maybe this will. You know how many times people talk about the Rekot or Reshot or whatever structure out in the middle of West Africa? Everyone claims was Atlantis, even though the Greeks knew where the Atlas Mountains were, where Mauritania is. So they wouldn't have confused the Atlas Mountains or across the Atlantic Ocean, but never mind. But, oh, wow, what a coincidence! Do you see the distance away from the Great Pyramid to the center of that circle of those circles? just a coincidence.
The thing that I think is even more shocking about this is the implication that ancient Egyptians used the metric system. About pseudoarchaeology and pseudoscience a lot, because God knows these videos are a dime a dozen. Pseudoscience pipeline that the algorithm of these apps literally encourages. Cap. No way. Bullshit. Absolutely. Honestly, I don't want to silence. It's fucking job security. The nice thing about what I do for a living is that as long as there is stupid people, I can pay my fucking mortgage. Butterfly effect be crazy. Anyway. Come on. That's lame, dude. He just states it like it's facts. Okay, you smug son of a bitch. Because Google told them. Whoa, Milo, but you're coming down on him. You're trying to silence him. It's wrong, like a bunch of fucking nerds. Maybe you should have Googled it, and then you wouldn't have had to make a video where he just puts on this persona of being like the smug, cold, hard fact kind of guy. Frankly, I think this part that he's putting forward online is kind of a douche. So it's like, we're really gonna trigger some people today, but you kind of get the character that we're working with here. No, I'm not trying to silence Milo. I'm literally just trying to do his own
physics
research for him. And so because he's gaining his
physics
input from Ancient Apocalypse, then Graham Hancock on Joe Rogan, two people who do a terrible job of representing
wave mechanics.
He thinks he knows what
physics
stands for, which is absolute bullshit. And I want to make clear that the difference between studying
harmonics and resonances of a guitar string and any other vibrating object
whole life and what these people are doing is that Milo speaking like they are an authority figure, like they know better than us. Now, I actually do have some pretty immense respect for Milo, but fully disagree with the things that he's saying. The reason we haven't built any pyramids is we have no purpose for them anymore. I do appreciate the fact that he can actually try and postulate his theories and, actually try and back them up with evidence. I don't think his evidence is very good, but at least he's engaging in the scientific method, But you kind of miss out on all the nuance, and instead all you get is like a frat bro, gatekeeper of archaeology. You can be as interested in archaeology as you want, but don't fucking talk about
physics.
You kind of just end up looking like a goober. And now we put it all together. Here's Milo, both smug and wrong.
Think that the aliens that built the pyramids would have used the speed of light?
And then just, parroting.
Riddle me this. The entire fucking universe used the metric system. The aliens that built the pyramids would have used something else as the coordinates of Giza. I thought I would talk about it and all of its faults.
That one over and over again, and clearly not doing any more digging into any
physics, basic wave mechanics, harmonics and resonances of a guitar string and any other vibrating object.
It's a matter of
damping out all the mechanical vibrations and acoustics that go into the ground. All the things we do, those vibrations will continue to add up and will continue to keep resonating the earth and cause problems that could lead to earthquakes, volcanoes, all of the calamities. And I'm not even telling you to take my word for it here. There was an actual earthquake from a Taylor Swift concert from a bunch of people jumping up and down on a single location, putting vibrations into the ground. Basic wave mechanics and physics. This is not impossible.
Holy shit, what the fuck? Honestly, that's kind of a powerful purpose for the pyramids.
It's a damper. It's an acoustic damper. Just like how on a muffler we use Helmholtz resonators, they allow for the frequencies that they resonate at to be absorbed or attenuated and or dampened out and or reversed or canceled out by interference with the continuous wave.
Whoa, powerful.
What those temples are for high pass or low pass filters. As you can see when we look at the side profile of this temple, we were calling bells are actually Helmholtz resonators for all the vibrations in the ground. And that's why they're not empty. They have to be solid. Because the ground vibrations will travel up into it if it's solid, and there won't be a change in index of refraction as it goes from one medium into an air pocket. So it being solid makes it a part of the ground resonator.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
I'm pretty sure that the reason there's so many layers for the different eras are for how they needed to dampen out the earth for the different societies that have existed in time. Each society had different vibrations according to the way they arranged themselves, the way they did their industry, the way they traveled, the way they danced, the way they did their festivals. Everything at every generation or every epoch, you would need a different kind of damper. That's why it would have to be changed.
Whoa.
I think that's what's coming. I think we need to figure out how to do what we need to do for this with our lands today.
Powerful.
Because we put different vibrations in the ground than our ancestors, and we need to figure out how to dampen the ones that we put into the ground.
Holy shit, what the fuck?
Now, it's not a coincidence that this is located on a volcanic fault line. Why would you put it there? Because you need to dampen out any of the vibrations from our society that might contribute to that fault line having other problems.
Why haven't we built any pyramids?
For damping out those
powerful
vibrations will cause problems.
I'm sorry. I know Graham Hancock said it.
absolutely wrong.
Large coverage to a mainstream audience. I'm so pissed
too.
because now it does shit like this. We can't even recognize the actual cool, historical facts about
500 BC, they had the mathematics, they had the physics, they had the waves, they had the music theory for it.
Instead, we got fucking Alpha Sig here talking about the reason we haven't built any pyramids is we have no purpose for them anymore.
And I'm sitting here saying with all my other content, talking about how you put vibrations into the ground, you cause culminated other vibrations in other places. You shake things in one place in the earth, or you have multiple places shaking things in a coordinated fashion. All those waves will add up. This is the basis for phased array beam focusing. You shake things on the earth and it creates big waves elsewhere. You cause earthquakes, lightning strikes, tsunamis. Oh, tsunamis. You can control waves. You can stop anyone who's coming over the ocean with tsunamis.
The reason we haven't built any pyramids is because there's just no reason to.
Like, no. Just no. No. Just not, no. I'm not even going to entertain it because no.
You don't have to listen to him, buddy. Why haven't we built any pyramids other than
for damping out all the mechanical vibrations and acoustics that go into the ground that could lead to earthquakes, volcanoes, and will continue to cause problems.
you can think for yourself?
Interesting, huh? It's also not that difficult. Now, you can also sit here and go, but Charles, how would you know that these ancients had this kind of technology?
A pyramid or something.
This seems kind of crazy. Well, first off, all of our wave mechanics that goes into the exact calculations for all of this literally was invented by Pythagoras in 500 BC. 500 BC, they had the mathematics, they had the physics, they had the waves, they had the music theory for it. But still, we don't know they had this technology. Romans had to go out of step when crossing over bridges. Why did they have to do that? Because of resonance. You mean to tell me, I dare any one of you to look me in the eye and tell me that one of those brilliant generals, or whatever they called them in the Roman army, one of those brilliant generals didn't see that happen with one of their soldier marches across a bridge and go right to the Caesar and go, "Sir, do I have a weapon for you?" Their weapon was marching their legions across the earth. The vibrations put into the ground.
Listen, Graham Hancock said,
Just no.
buddy, you can think for yourself.
It's really simple. Like, it's almost becoming comically simple to me that like I've been getting called schizophrenic for even thinking. One, this basic wave mechanics and physics could even work, let alone the ancients had this stuff. That at least gives me to like 0 AD or couple hundred BC at least. Especially if we've got 500 BC for Pythagoras. And that's if he didn't get it from somewhere else. Do you guys see? Do you see what I'm saying here? Okay, so upon further looking, I guess there's no proof that the Romans knew about the bridge resonance. But come on, they made the next advancement in bridges for the semicircular. Or were they doing that they needed to make them stronger? Kind of funny, isn't it? Pretty big coincidence. And then all of a sudden their bridges got stronger. I don't know, man. Seems quite the coincidence. Oh, and then, look at this. A couple hundred years later, the engineers had to consult with the devil to build these bridges. You mean they consulted the underworld and the vibrations that go on in the underworld to make sure they built the bridges in the right places so the bridges aren't in like high vibration earth areas because of the marching and even just the city's layout and everything? Oh, what a surprise. Wow, they consulted with the devil. You mean they consulted with the underworld? Got it.
He looks more like a teak kind of guy. I know Graham Hancock said it.
Absolutely wrong. Milo.
Did you do your own research or did you just accoutrement to the tip?
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
No, it's not. It's
Gets
gross.
the people going.
It's disgusting.
That's enough!
I think these things are, as our illustrious Congresswoman says, a sign from God. God is sending us signals that America needs to repent.
If you don't repent and pay tribute to your nearest king, God won't make your lands bountiful or send an earthquake or not even like a couple weeks before I start talking about this, and they're already out there claiming it.
If you aren't capable of believing,
I think that's rude.
Especially up to level 5. So
You got one side telling you it's
Kiss my
God,
ass.
you got the other side telling you it's
I'm a member
nature,
of Congress.
neither of which you can do anything about.
Why the fuck would we?
It's really simple.
Our culture does not demand pyramid. There's just no reason to. We have no purpose for the pyramids or otherwise accoutrement to the pyramids.
You don't know what this technology I've been trying to teach everyone about is possible or capable of doing.
Listen, buddy, you don't need any pyramids.
I've seen the evidence,
Don't think about what comes after or what came before.
and we are going
Just gotta
to
bend your knees
needs to worry about his own country, and frankly,
You know, just keep consuming and consuming and consuming, and you know, we can all dance on the grave of the planet later. Who gives a fuck? Drinking to the downfall of humanity.
Don't worry about it though. It's just nature.
It is being proven. It
Does
is.
that look like no fucking purpose for the pyramid to you?
I don't appreciate that type of language.
Ridiculous.